you know, the reason I'm against this for, you know, there's many reasons. But, you know, I guess I got a bunch of reasons, but the first one that was said by the clerk, I guess the word really made me sit back and go, oh my God, you know, we're going down this path. You know, she used the word stable. That's a huge word, if somebody is stable. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm seeing some friends in here that probably think I am pretty unstable. So, you know, and I know it would have to come from a family member, but sadly, I got a few of those family members. You know, using that word is just huge. You know, that just scares the hell out of me, and I apologize for that word. But, you know, so the other is what I want to talk about is over, you know, and I know the bill's here in New Hampshire, but in Maryland, a sister lied about her brother. The police went, an issue happened, the man ended up dead. Dead as in he is not coming back tomorrow. Over a sister that lied. There is nothing in here other than I think it's a misdemeanor if you lied. You know, that sister, you know, should be hanging by a tree somewhere because what she did is wrong to kill her brother. The other is over in Vermont, there was a case, and it's going to happen here, and that's why I'm bringing this up. These two moron kids, in Vermont just passed it in October, and from what I'm understanding, there's been 16 or 17 of these cases that have been brought forward since October of last year. These two moron kids go, one kid goes to the other kid, hey, you know, I'm going to shoot the school up, or, you know, I think it was a school. The other kid said, well, I don't know if we really should be doing that, and where are you going to get the guns? Oh, you know, 6-8 towns up, my uncle lives. So they go to the uncle's house, and the uncle's just sitting there, just enjoying life in beautiful Vermont. And here comes, you know, the police just banging on his door. They remove all of his guns, and he's like, they're in a safe. My moron nephew doesn't have the combination. We don't care. We'll take them. So he gave up all of his guns. He went to court. And what ended up happening is the judge said, and this is what's going to happen here. The judge says, well, yes, the nephew couldn't have access to the guns, but he said it and you're related. So just by being blood related, I hate to say it, but you know, I'm going to give you your guns back, but you can't have them in your locked safe. You have to make sure that they go somewhere else, and we're going to check on you to make sure. You know, so, I mean, that behavior. But the other one is, you know, again, you know, I come back to the petitioner. Whoever files this, we need a higher law, a criminal act that says if you lie, you know, you're in big trouble. But, you know, the problem that I think what I'm looking at is what the interpretation is. You know, one interpretation of anybody that's stable, you know, that's the biggest word is stable. You know, I think there's people in here that are nuts, but I'm not calling the police on them. You know, and I just don't understand why we're going forward with this. And I hope that we vote this down and retain the bill and hopefully slowly kill the thing somehow.
I want to move this, but Representative Pearson, Muse, and Abbas, and then we're going to just vote on the underlying bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to say that I actually right now will be joining Representative Burton in a motion to retain this bill. But I wanted to...
That's not before this.
Well, if that is what the committee decides to do, I would join you in making and voting for that motion. But I just wanted to... I'm curious as to why we would vote down the bill as it was amended before, especially considering the fact that it had addressed many of these concerns. And I also want to say that misdemeanors are criminal offenses and should be treated seriously.
I'll take that as a rhetorical question for an amendment that we already discussed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't need to belabor it.
Representative Muse, Representative Abbas.
One of the things that I see in this bill are pages and pages of things that are actually designed to protect the rights of the respondent. And one of the things I think that sometimes we lose track of in hearings like this is that we are the Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee. And one of the most important duties that we have is protecting the safety of the public. If you take a look at who this law is protecting, we're not talking about domestic violence victims. They're actually protected under a different law. We're talking about people who may be mentally ill, who are at risk for suicide. We're talking about people who may be mentally unstable, who are posting things on social media, and who may be threatening to do things like shoot up a school. One of the things we all need to keep in mind is that the day after Vermont passed a similar law, there was actually a person who was arrested and who had their weapons taken away from him for threatening to shoot up a school. So these are not pie in the sky situations. The incidents like this are happening all over the country. Gun suicides, we heard during testimony, are happening all over New Hampshire at a very disturbing rate. I think if we don't pass this bill, we're abdicating one of the biggest responsibilities that we have. And I think it's important to realize how important that word responsibility is. We talk about rights a lot, and we should talk about rights a lot. Rights are extremely important. But along with those rights come responsibilities. And I think part of what we're getting at in this law, a big part of what we're getting at, is really our responsibility to protect the rights of people who are not in a position to protect themselves. And that's why I will support this law as it is now.
Thank you. Some of the concerns expressed to us at the committee hearing by the ACLU, and with what we're voting on now, they had a lot of concerns with it throughout many portions of the bill. And we have an opportunity to sit down, go through this, and fix this, and we can try and use our best efforts to get this right. Because I speak for myself when I say this, that I want to try to search for a way where we can balance the criminal justice side with the public safety side. That's one of the reasons why we wear the scales of justice pins. And we really should try to work towards that. I think that I'm not turning my attention away from the issue of suicide. And to me, that's one of the biggest concerns with this bill, is that it addresses that, and I want to address that. But the means and manner in which how we do that, balance that with our other rights, is what I feel we should try to do. And I'm confident in, when we're not sitting here and people, we're on camera or whatever, we sit down, we go out for lunch together, we talk about we have a lot of great conversations, sometimes constructive conversations, sometimes just pleasant conversation. I'm comfortable with the people on this committee that I feel like we could get there. If I didn't, I wouldn't be proposing something that wouldn't get us, wouldn't accomplish anything. But I also think that a lot of the concerns have to do with the backside of this bill when the order is expired. And again, I'm not going to repeat myself, but that's not addressed in any of the amendments. It's not addressed in the current version of this bill, and I think we should work on that as well. And I would just ask that we ask the vote not to pass.
Final word, Representative Welch, before we vote.
Well, Representative Muse raised a question about protecting people's rights and keeping people safe. I think one of our main concerns here, in this particular instance, is protecting the rights of those people who may be temporarily mentally ill. And I think you probably would agree with that.
If you're ready.
Sorry.
And I think we'll call the question. I'm just going to move the question now. See what happens. If you're in favor of the motion of ought to pass on House Bill 687, you will say yay. If you're opposed, you'll say nay. The clerk will call the roll.
Pearson,
No.
Esposito,
No.
O'Hearn,
No.
Harry Gathright, yes. Up the back,
No.
Bourdonnais,
No.
Muse,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Radishishna,
No.
Swinburne,
Yes.
Welch,
No.
Fields,
No.
Burke,
No.
Green,
No.
McNally,
No.
Testament,
No.
Wallace,
No.
Abbas,
No.
Yes.
six.
Six yeas, 14 noes. The motion fails. Representative Abbott, did you want to make a motion?
Yes, motion to retain.
Second retain. Second. All right.
Just a question, I know this sounds kind of off the wall, but if we killed the bill, then do we actually have a bill in hand now? We killed it. So how can we change something
No, we
killed?
didn't. The motion was ought to pass. We decided not to pass the bill as introduced. The motion now is to retain the bill, so we will work on it the next 6 months or so.
All right.
So, we're ready for the question. If you're in favor of retaining the bill, you'll vote yes. If you're opposed, you'll vote no. The clerk will call the roll.
Pearson,
Yes.
Espy,
Yes.
O'Hearn,
Yes.
Harry Gathright, yes. Oakham,
Yes.
Bourdonnais,
Yes.
Muse,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Radishishna,
Yes.
Swinburne,
Yes.
Welch,
Yes.
Fields,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
McNally,
Yes.
Testament,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
and Abbas,
Yes.
and Cushing.
Yes. 20 to 0, the bill is retained. Thank you, everyone, for a thoughtful discussion. We'll see everyone tomorrow afternoon, the session. Don't forget the majority and the minority report.
Croc TV.